Go live. Go live.
The
It says we're
button.
live.
So now, are you telling me the whole world, and by extension, as long as an alien race has a router with a Wi-Fi, dongle, the universe could also be watching us right now? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Wow.
High in Earth.
Hello.
Just think, like a bazillion years, this signal could be somewhere.
Do you think Lurch from planet Omicron Persei 5 is watching right now? Because I mean, he has some thoughts, I'm sure.
Probably. Welcome back, guys, to what might be the last Mandalorian Monday, depending
Not
on
up to
how the
us.
turnout is for this one. Yeah.
We're on half the season. This is number 5. I think we just did our math.
Yes.
And yeah,
Yeah.
they've been less than last year, so I don't know if that's a less fan interest or whatever, but our Discovery reviews have been getting 3, 4, 500 people, and these were getting 90, 120, 150. So we're not a Star Trek chat, we're not a Star
Yeah.
Wars channel, but last year we definitely got more than that. So hopefully you guys will come up and show the flag, and if this one blows us out of the water, then maybe we'll do it next week. Not ruling it out. But it's not up to us, so super chat your thoughts, comments, and questions. And given this is our first introduction to a Jedi for a long time and the hero-ness of it, hopefully you guys will, more people will join in. Hopefully. But I'll start showing straight away, Stuart, so people know we are already live.
And yeah, Bill Barkley, we saw your comments. No need to comment that we probably won't read them anyway, because we try to read everybody's chats and read the odd one here and there. That's really good. So thank you for those. Yeah. So if you do want to get your comment for sure read, though, super chatting is a great way. You can super chat any amount and put in your question or comment, and we have to read it because that's what we do. We do read the regular chat as well, as we've talked about. So if you have something good to talk about or mention, by all means, put it in the chat, and we will. We like to include everybody, so whether you can super chat or not. So, but super chatting does support the channel and help us out. So also make sure you hit that like button. Let's get the interactions up. We need the viewers. We need the likes. We need chat or not. So to make Mandalorian stuff worthwhile, because it's been very also make sure you hit that like button. Let's get the interactions up. We need the viewers. We need the likes. We need chat or not. And Bill says yes, but you have to see the final episode of Rebels, and you'll see the whole Ezra Thrawn. Okay, that's fine. I'll get to it eventually. And Bill says yes. If you're calling that's who's going to show up, that's cool. Okay, I'll figure that out as I watch Mandalorian. If that's the case, we'll get there. If you're calling that's who's going to show up, that's cool. Okay, echo feedback as I watch Mandalorian. If that's the case, we'll get there. That's who's going to show up. That's cool. Echo feedback as I watch Mandalorian. If that's the case, we'll get there. Okay, we got it. Samuel's not aware of it because he doesn't have his earphones in right now. So, okay, we got it. Samuel's not aware of it because he doesn't have his earphones in right now. So, they are having audio issues. That's an echoey. I'm echoey for them for some reason. Samuel's not aware of it because he doesn't have his earphones in. And I don't know why.
Oh, that's because I had you on another screen.
Oh.
Yep.
There we go. Yeah. So if you guys can support the channel by clicking that like button, it's very important. Sharing this video around to Star Wars groups you think might like it, or Mandalorian fans, and also just letting us know that you're interested. Hitting that like button is one of the most important things. So also super chats, like I said, or you can join the channel at the rank of Commander, Captain, Admiral, Fleet Admiral, Federation President, or also send us a PayPal. If you do send a PayPal, just let the chat know, let the moderators or administrators in the chat know, and they will let us know so we can read your comment or question via the email for the PayPal. So lots of ways to support and help us out. If you're able to, please do. But yeah, hopefully the audio question. Yeah, it looks like it is fixed. So that's good. No, it's okay, Bill. just last night we had somebody come into the chat like early on saying, oh, they don't even read non-super chat questions anyway. When I do my first reaction reviews, I read pretty much every comment. So I kind of not appreciative of those kind of comments. So yeah, hopefully we have a good turnout today. I'm looking forward to doing more of these. This was a really good one. Probably the best one of The Mandalorian, in my opinion. So looking forward to doing more of these and continuing to talk about them. So just make sure you show your support and let us know that you love it, that you love us talking about it, because I know we're more Star Trek focused generally, but we do love Star Wars and all sci-fi. So
I mean, there are ships and stuff.
there are.
But yes, Stuart, we're over halfway now on both shows. Well, The Mandalorian is only 8, Discovery is 13.
Yes.
I would say probably quite a confusing season of Mandalorian. I don't know if you would agree, as in like what we think of it.
Say that again. I missed that.
Would you agree this season of Mandalorian is like quite confusing in what we think about it? As in, it's not like a swing and a miss. It's not a total miss. It's not a total hit. It's like,
yeah. Overall, I found it more entertaining. Well, I want to say I found it more entertaining than season 1, but I don't know if I did. I have to go back and rewatch season 1 again. I've just really been enjoying this this ride for this one. So I don't know. Season 2, I think, is really they haven't crashed and burned yet for season 2, which is a lot of times when you have a successful season 1, you might not do so good for season 2. But
I guess I'm gonna be alone there because I think season 2 is drastically less good than season 1. I think.
Oh, really?
You can only. For me, it's like they found lightning in a bottle for season 1. Season 2, they showed that was a one-off. They absolutely do not have that lightning in a bottle again. They do not. They picked the right 8 stories to create this good pace, this good character, and season 2 they do not know where they're going with it. They've got these grand plans, you can tell, but they don't want to use them. They don't want to go into them. They want a 7-season story with a massive, but they don't want to go through it quickly enough.
Yeah.
It's a big letdown from where I hoped they were going to go bigger and better, and it's just not bigger and it's not better.
Oh, I got the feeling it was bigger. The only problem I'm finding with it is that Mandalorian started becoming like a background character in his own show. It's kind of like the guest star of the week show now, which they're trying to tie it in with the bigger universe and stuff, which I kind of appreciate. Like, I thought this episode, spoilers, I thought this episode was probably the best episode of The Mandalorian so far.
This season.
Of just The Mandalorian so far. I really enjoyed this one. And I wasn't even a big Rebels or Clone Wars fan, so I mean, I thought it was good. I saw a lot of things I liked though. But it reminded me of other things, Japanese movies, the Western, obviously still, but also this one very much has that. Every frame seems to be like a picture or like a Halloween kind of thing, and it's got kind of a dark vibe to it, almost like a medieval feel. Like you got a knight. And it's almost like the movie Excalibur, which is like my favorite movie of all time. So it's got that feel.
Which shows how flexible the Star Wars art aesthetic is. If you just put a Mandalorian dude into a thing, it's like, oh my god, suddenly. Yes. My
there we go.
Microphone just stopped existing. So I had to unplug and plug. That's weird.
Yeah, I mean, usually we've talked about the gunslinger vibe before and the Japanese parallels. This is the first one that I had that medieval knight feel. Just the way his armor looked, the forest. It definitely had that feel for me, and that's one of the things I really appreciate about this one, I think. So, I don't know. This is a really fun one for me.
Well, I do think because the bar has been set lower this season, this one raises above that bar. I'll have to go back and watch season 1, but this doesn't compare to season 1 to me necessarily. But I think season 1 also had a certain focus, this one doesn't. As we've said, this season is side quest the episode, and I think neither of us are putting too much stock in the notion that Pedro Pascal wasn't happy with the show. But the fact that he said he seems like a side character, I mean, how many lines does he have this week? More than normal, but the character himself doesn't feel like he's really part of the story. He's just sort of a tin can standing around. Episode 1, he was very present. This episode, somewhat, but I think that they're seeing so much limitation of the character. Where season 1, it kind of felt like they kept using him in interesting ways. Luckily, Ahsoka, takes up which is weird because she's just Rosario Dawson. So it's like, it's just I know that face. It's not
Yeah.
I just watched her in Clerks too. Like, that's how I know her from mostly. I've seen her on other things, but not as like know who she was necessarily. But although I don't know if you noticed my thumbnails, I had to like actively pull it. Well, how could you notice? But because the framing is so widescreen, I had to actively pull everyone together to get a nice frame. So I photoshopped the hell out of them to get everyone nice and close, especially when you had like
Oh wow.
Completely
Interesting.
Subtle, but I had to do a lot of reframing here. So I mean, I guess you like this one. Your favorite episode of Mandalorian yet was what you just said.
Yes, like I said, I do need to go back and watch season 1 because that might be an error.
I'm trying to think which ones are in that, and I'm having a hard time already.
Yeah, me too.
Even though I know they're distinct, they're not ringing a bell. Besides, him fighting his own. Would it be helpful to reiterate briefly what was in them?
Probably. Should we get to the super chats though? People are super chatting like crazy today, which is awesome, guys. Thank you. Olivia Julius, $5.
Thank you.
Hello, got called away on a special mission. Will be gone for most of the week. Here's $5 to make sure Puggy is fed and not posed to attack Fleetpaw.
Wow, good luck.
Thank you. Very appreciated. Chili Bina, $20. Wow. This was my favorite episode this season, although I thought Ahsoka looked like a video game, kind of fake. Glad you guys are reviewing this. Hoping enough people tune in and super chat so you can keep up Mando Mondays. Not just super chatting, just interactions, viewers, likes. Like there's a lot of.
We bounce off you. We really do.
Yeah, and it helps the analytics and stuff as well. It doesn't drag the channel down. So.
But I'll be honest, we're now a third of the super chats we need to cause a win. So just to let you guys know, you hit a third within the first 15 minutes. So if we can keep this up, that's gonna be good. So yeah.
Yes. Thank you guys for showing up. Really appreciate it. Ozzy Maderos, $10. Mongo is only in pawn life for Baby Yoda. Fleet Admiral Skeleton Hands. Okie dokie. Mongo is only in a pawn life.
Isn't that Mongo from Master of the Universe? That place. Don't quite understand.
I don't either. Warrender Technical Solutions, £2. 50 likes. Let's get up to 200 today. That'd be awesome. We're at 74 right now with 127 viewers. If we can hit 100, that'd be awesome. So please hit that like if you haven't. Dementia throws in $20, which is an awesome super chat. This little ball moment was amazing. I loved Dadalorian. Also, Ashoka was fantastic. The character is in her late 30s and really does have a strong combination of her Clone Wars Rebels personality. It was good. I think Rosario Dawson did a good job with the character for sure. Joseph Fleming, $5. I haven't showed up because of when you do the reviews. I watch Mando Friday, and you drop these Mondays at 5 o'clock.
I'm just getting off of work. Well, it's understandable, but
on Friday, so it's already taken up, and then Mandalorian Monday just has a nice ring to it. So
yeah, this is our time. This is the way, unfortunately. But we did the same thing last year, and it was quite popular.
Yes. Kai L. Wong, £5. Mandalorian is becoming a side character in his own show because we can't see his face, and as such, can't connect with him on a personal level. I disagree with that. Seeing his face is irrelevant to me personally, but I can see why some people might say that. I actually think getting rid of the child or Grogu for at least a couple episodes would be good. That way we can see him in the ship with his helmet off when he's by himself. I think that might be something that we would appreciate as viewers, and he would probably appreciate as an actor as well.
I don't know why, but yeah, I think my audio is now on this thing on the stream, but it's not letting me change it, so I sound hollow. But I apologise, guys, because the thing died and went away, so I think I have to reset OBS. But I'm not going to do that because we haven't got time for that. So sorry about that, guys.
Sound good to me.
Because you're getting my direct Skype
Oh, gotcha.
Sorry, guys. I'm doing about right now.
Tenchi 2K7, $5. I also mostly know Rosario Dawson from Clerks 2, but she did amazing as this character. Absolutely. Eugene, 200 rubles. Thank you, Eugene. Not a big fan of Ahsoka design. Her head appendages reverted from adult back to teen Tortuk, whatever. P.S. Commander, sounds as if you're in the marshes of Dagobah. Yeah, I noticed that the things weren't quite as big as they should be. But
they probably thought if they're too big, they'll be impractical to either fight with, stunt with, and there's only so much that like silicon stuff can look good if it's literally down to your waist. They already don't look particularly believable, but it's like we've never seen a hero character Twi'lek, so it's like, well, it is what it is, and it didn't look bad.
Are they supposed to be like horns, or what are they supposed to be?
Tentacles. It's just not horns. Okay. They're organic. They're just like like Andorian's top bits, just as a
Gotcha.
Squishy and whateverable. What are they called? I can't remember what they're called.
Don't know. Ozzy Maderas though, $10.
I think
Mongo is from Blazing Saddles, Fleet Admiral, Skeleton Hands. Okie dokie.
Okay, I think that's better now. Yay! I kept pressing buttons, guys. So my thoughts, Stuart. And guys, click likes when I hit 100 likes. So yeah, this one was pretty good. I know who Ahsoka is, obviously, although I thought the acting was somewhat Jedi-esque, but with less character. Like if you were to summarize this character, you'd say she's a Jedi. Okay, what else? Wants to fight clean. There wasn't too much extra personality, and obviously Ahsoka I've only seen this first half of Clone Wars, very childish, very whatever. I mean, I know she's an adult now, etc., etc. But like kind of like Obi-Wan, you would never say Ewan McGregor was in his like being told Jedi mode. It's like, yes, he's acting really well. It's like, well, he's acting like a stoic Jedi. She's acting like a stoic Jedi. It's kind of tricky.
Despite the episode title, I don't think she's actually a Jedi though. I don't think she ever...
No, she's not.
Yeah, okay.
Well, she left the Order, and that's why she didn't get murdered.
Yeah, she's what's called a Grey Jedi. So she doesn't really have an affiliation.
But she was still trained fully, so she's still a Jedi at heart, just not formally. So I don't know. I didn't keep watching Rebels, just reasons. So I don't know exactly where the story ends. Though it's good to see her, but I'm not sure she imbued as much personality into the role as possible. But in terms of action, she was fun, and I liked the use of constant lightsaber on off on off on off. It's a very unusual way of doing that. Normally we just have it on and go, but it was kind of stylized. Like every motion with them is intentional, as opposed to just it's my weapon. But it also led to a very odd feel.
Well, that worked, I think, in the context though with the foggy forest. Like to move, you turn them off so they can't see, and then like that was really well done, I think.
Yeah, and talk about stylized opening.
Although
nameless grunts that are easily killable are once again namelessly grunt, and the end does kind of fall apart a bit when they're fighting 11 people, and they're like, "You can't take us all out." Well, no, not if you're all standing there shooting us. But if you go into the buildings, we can take us out one by one. Let's go to the buildings, take us one by one. Like as soon as that happened, you're like, they didn't know what to do here. They had nothing to do in this.
At least it wasn't standard stormtroopers, because we probably would have complained about that. It was something new. To look at, so I kind of appreciated that, because we were kind of complaining the last few episodes, just one hit stormtroopers.
They're taking some easy roads that don't, like, they're intelligent storytellers and yet throwing just people at you. And so I like the robots though; they were good for a few seconds, but then when Mando kills one of them with one shot to the brain, you're like, oh, I guess they don't have armor to take on one hand blaster. That's why you have the rifles. That's the exact reason. Hand blasters can't do these things. So. It let itself down in a few ways again, and it felt more like a TV show in a lot of its ways. It's like they can't push the budget. Like they're not being given, which I assumed, boatloads of money for season 1. But that said, Rosaria and Michael Biehn, I'm sure they took a massive chunk of the budget between them.
Yeah.
I don't know if the other lady is someone important who's a known actress. I don't know, but I think the guest star budget sucked up a lot of the change this week.
Well, apparently she was one of Bruce Lee's students or somebody related to her was. So like one of his star pupils. So
Cool.
I don't know exactly. Somebody mentioned that last night on my first reaction review. So,
But it was a more engaging story, I thought, and certainly good to finally get some Baby Yoda other stuff, and definitely unusual. Well, not what I was expecting to get info. I know it was odd. I don't think anyone else could predict what was going to happen. But it's definitely nice that his character brought in. Obviously, when they mentioned Thrawn, I'm like, we're doing it.
yeah.
You know, again, they keep raising the stakes of the story that they're not going to be able to tell in 3 more episodes in this season, and definitely not next season either. This does feel like a 7-season, of the week short show with a few big things, which is a weird thing. Normally, you have like a very focused season arc or 2-season arc, but it's like, we'll see how long we can go and throw as many canon things as possible. Which, Thrawn is great, love it. It's confusing.
Yeah, it was Bruce Lee's granddaughter. So there you go.
Oh wow, sweet.
That is awesome.
Nice stuff.
Goddaughter. Some people are saying granddaughter, some people are saying goddaughter, so I don't know. Whatever. She knew Bruce Lee, so. Let's see. Dementia throws in $5. Mace Windu specifically said at the end of the Clone Wars that Ashoka is a citizen. So not a Jedi, yes.
Ex-Jedi.
Yes.
Well, I was surprised how Michael Biehn was just there and died. I was
I know.
I was expecting him to walk away and like, he's coming back. It's like, oh.
He should have walked away based on his dialogue, because he said we're both there. We're very much alike. We both fight for a cause that's just, and that is not this. But he isn't aged well, man. I like him as Lieutenant Hicks. I like him as Reese, but he looks rough.
which works well for the character, but
yes,
it's not fun to see. And I mean, as an actor, I'd be like, I've got this leg. I mean, I feel like he was just hired because of his name. He didn't add anything to the role specifically. He wasn't given enough lines to do anything specifically, and he died like a bitch. Should have known better. So, waste of everyone's time and effort, honestly.
It was just he was redoing his role from Tombstone. I got no problem with You Longer, where he's talking to Doc Holliday. It's the exact same role. But that's okay.
Oh, and had a shotgun blaster. Yeah.
Yeah, the shotgun blaster was cool. I gotta say, that was a neat weapon.
And it would have been. I was assuming he'd actually be able to go 1-on-1 with Mandalorian and actually make a thing of it. Like that's why he's so confident. Because like, I've killed 3 of you before. And he's like, excuse me. Well, we were going to be friends until you said that. Like, I've got this weapon can take on the armor. It's not. They seem to be not these scripts. I think maybe rushed out in comparison to season 1. Like they had the ideas for a couple of years and refined them. Because this year, just the level of script writing and logic is just way less than last year. It's weird. Thanks, Amir. Appreciate it.
Yeah, that means a lot. Thank you. Tenshi 2K7, $5. At least Corporal Hicks, I called him Lieutenant Hicks. You're right, Corporal Hicks, had his shotgun for close encounters.
Oh yeah, because okay, now I get reference. That's funny.
Yeah.
Love it. Okay, well let's get into the scenes then. We're dark once again.
Yeah, there's not a lot of dialogue in this one, to be fair. But anyway.
I was about to say, is there ever? But
well.
Instantly, I like the fact this felt more expensive in terms of set location. Boy, this is dark. Jeez, I got to really lighten this shit up. So I liked it. They put more. You can tell they put more money into this one. You really can tell they did.
Yeah, and I gotta say, it's very atmospheric. Like this is so well done. I thought, I really enjoyed the dark take on this. The forest is just eerie, and yeah, it's the first time I got the medieval vibes from the Mandalorian, which you'd think would be more noticeable, considering that his helmet is like the old Crusader helmets with like the cross slit. But this one, just the lighting and everything, just reminded me so much of the movie Excalibur and that kind of cinematography that I was like, wow. But anyway,
my only problem with this scene is that the color palette is disgusting.
Yes.
And it's very dark. And both are intentional, but both don't make it look nice. That's the problem. Like, I love her white lights, I love her look, but you're never going to look at this and say, ooh. You're going to say, okay, I get it. But it doesn't look nice. And they, you know what I mean? And the fact that I up the brightness. But it's a good little scene, and it's a great use of it. It almost feels like a fan film.
Yeah.
Where they because you know how like Nathan Fillion did the Uncharted fan films, like, oh, you can get a real actor like a legend, because the makeup looks relatively fan filmy and that like her face is the focus as it should be, but like it doesn't look like they spent $5.5 million on it because they didn't need to, etc.
Yeah.
And this is the same. You know, you have three guys, same armor, and they just die, and then the same guy comes back. You know, it's a very fan filmy start, but it's also raw. You know, and it's a very this is interesting.
Yeah, and props to the scene for the fighting, because incorporation of the force. She makes a noise over in the distance, then she slices the guy behind the tree. The tree falls and lands. She puts the middle part, throws it at the other guy, and then the tree falls over, which was really really cool. I love seeing the force incorporated with the sword fighting.
And she didn't necessarily feel OP, even though she is like almost did. They had a better balance of like she's obviously gonna win, but she didn't. She took her time to be more wary of them. But I mean, just as still Amon looks great in such a weird way. Yeah.
And I got to say, the white lightsabers work for her character because it highlights the white in her face, the markings. If it was red or blue or any other color, I think it would take away. But it really highlights and brings that out. So I do appreciate that her lightsabers are still the white lightsabers.
And also, they feel, as compared to anyone else's lightsabers, like they're way more practical on set. Because a clean white is much easier to get than a... Because I know that, like, on the sequel trailer, they do have a real stick, which is really glowing of the real colour. So all the interactive light, but they do it on post. And you can see a bit of it on post, but I feel like they look like genuine sticks of light. They felt less like lightsabers, more like glow sticks, but yet really, like, visceral. Like, the way they do the lighting here is like, oh, no, it is lighting her. So it feels really integrated, less impressive, but since she isn't a Jedi, you know what I mean. There are subtle layers here that work.
Yeah,
and they're not afraid to show her face. Like, she is here she is. Boom, there we go.
Good introduction to a character, I gotta say. War Under Technical Solutions was in 2 pounds.
Thank you.
100 likes. Let's up the super chats. This is how. 149 people watching at 101 likes, which is great. But guys, hit that like button if you haven't, because a lot of you haven't by the looks of it. I think we can easily hit 150. So 150 and 150, I think we can do it. So hit it. And then we get the introduction of this. I guess it's kind of like in the old Japanese movies, the warlord that takes over the town, kind of overthrows the person in charge. And she, she wants to, Ahsoka wants to find out where her boss is, essentially. And we don't know who that is yet. But we need to get a backstory for this lady.
Yeah, and it feels oddly like of the week generic. Like, tell me who her boss is. No, okay. But the fact that these characters are like, well, there's like if this person, Ahsoka, chose not to fight. Obviously, she wasn't invented yet, but chose not to fight in New Hope, Return of the Jedi. You know, if she chose not to fight all these things, there's a reason. So if she chose to be here on a backwater planet, facing, I guess, 18 people, you think at the start this is like a garrison. Like, it gets way less impressive the further you go, and you realize, oh no, it's just like a tiny little village with like 100 people and 12 guards that she's taken over the city. It's a little bit I don't think I put that much thought in. It doesn't really matter. But I do like the conflict here. Although I get the instant sense that this lady who's taken over, she has no plan. Like, I will kill the civilians. Ahsoka's like, okay then. Is that good? Do you think that's gonna stop me? And she's like, like, there's no real plan. I wish she had something, like, I wish she had loads of those droids, or she said, you have not met my bounty hunter friend. He killed 14 Jedi in the Clone Wars, and she's like, oh, I know him. You could have really amped it up, so it kind of feels a little bit flat. Like, well, she's just gonna jump over and kill you all. Like, there's no tension here, even though there should be, because I know Ahsoka doesn't really like, 5 civilians are gonna die, she's gonna save everyone else. That's kind of, do you know what I mean? Like, there wasn't really tension built. It's a bit weird. Yeah,
and even at the end with the fight between the two, I'm like, I didn't believe for a second that this woman would have any kind of chance against a dual lightsaber wielding trained Jedi, who's not really a Jedi, I guess, but still. So what's her backstory? Like, yes, the Beskar saber or spear is great for fighting off the lightsabers, and even the armor that was cool.
That was very cool, and that was a great subtle setup because I forgot Beskar stopped lightsabers because we haven't fought lightsaber yet this season. So
that makes sense. I mean, they used
that.
to, yeah, the Mandalorians used to fight the Jedi, so yeah, it makes perfect sense.
How could you fight them if you couldn't block sabers? And I would disagree a little bit. I think she did put up quite a good fight considering. I got the sense Ahsoka wasn't using all of her skill, but she was surprised how much she had to put in, and so she started low, but she kept countering as she got higher in her skill level to the point of where she had like all in. But I got the sense
she lost the lightsaber too.
Yeah, so I actually got the sense she was doing pretty good for a non-Jedi. That's always a clarification because if you can sense someone's moves before they move them, that's kind of the whole point about that. And if you read some of the books and such, you know, certain people can literally sense a move, and that's why they dodge it. And that's why when you fight a Force user, they can sense you dodging, and then it's a ballet, you know, because you know all of their moves. So you try and that's why it sucks to fight Jedi if you're a Jedi. It really sucks.
Well, it goes back to standard sword fighting technique. Like one thing you learn when you train for sword fighting, because I've done this. Don't look at the person's eyes. Don't look at their hands because they can fake. Look at their waist. Look at their belt buckle, because if they're gonna fake a move but go a different direction, that'll always be the tell. That'll always be the give that which way they're actually going to go, no matter how much they try to fake it. So yeah, absolutely. And using the Force as well. Like I would have almost liked to see some kind of Force use from the other lady, just so we know something else is going on there. Because I don't know how she was trained or whatever.
Well, Imperial and high end.
Well, yeah.
But she knows how the staff. I mean, that's, you know, you got to have a bit of knowledge. Although it would have been nice, and I know this is in the books, but there's a creature. Remind me if you guys remember what it's called from Expanding Universe, which blocks Force powers, and Thrawn is super famous for them. Again in Expander, but I can't remember what they're called. It would have been great because I was expecting, you know, the Force is quite powerful. If Ahsoka could just forced pushed her and broken her back, done. I know it's with all fights, but it would have been great if she walked in and then she says, "Oh, you can't feel the Force. Oh yeah, Thrawn gave me these things." I mean, then at least she has a plan which is new to her, and then I know I'm a good sword fighter, etc. So the fact she didn't use the Force feels a bit odd because it's like, just force her back, force her down, force her up, throw her. You know, easy shot.
Yeah. Well, the blocking with the spear, because if she'd block a lightsaber, yes, but all you have to do is slide the lightsaber down, cut her fingers off. You know what I mean? Like it's something that I personally probably would have done. But anyway, Eugene,
Nigiri, yeah, that's the new one. What's the old one called from the old books? It's not called Nigiri.
Eugene, though, 100 rubles. Got some Dathomir vibes from the Magistrate.
Yeah. And thanks, Area 51. We love your capitals.
I just read that one.
And Kai Eli Wong, I know. I wish. Hey, if they lead up to that fight, I will trumpet that fight. But yeah, so the start. I mean, there's so many images in this first scene, which are, like I said, paintings. You know, they wanted to make thumbnails. The thing is, they're both gross, but also weirdly beautiful. It's weird.
Yep. And ironically, like I said, I compared a lot of the cinematography to this to feeling like Excalibur. There was a movie or a short that was released in some theaters before Empire Strikes Back, which was directed in the same style, and it looks very much like Excalibur. The Black Angel, I think, the Dark Angel, it's called. It was recently uncovered. It's a short film. You can see it on YouTube, and it's got the same eeriness that Excalibur in this does. So, well, like I said, Excalibur is like my favorite movie. So
we'll have to do like a review party of it at some point.
Yeah.
But you know, like I said at the start, this episode just shows that even though it is Jedi finally back in, you can radically change the art style so much that it feels pretty unique. You know, I feel like this is definitely in Clone Wars, this sort of murky vibe. So it's not new to the universe as a whole, but most people haven't watched Clone Wars, etc., etc. As in most fans. So I appreciate we can make it look different. But we get back to the Razor Crest, and it's fine, Stuart. The journey's almost ended. We're going to say bye to Baby Yoda, and he wants his ball, and he does force it. And I was like, okay, good, fine, sure, this makes sense.
Yep, I love that it started to turn a little bit. And even the whole get back to your seat.
Mm.
Hey, what did I tell you? And then you see the puppet kind of getting in the seat, and then his hand very conveniently goes to flick a switch and cover the puppet as it gets put in the seat.
Yep. Oh yeah.
That was very well done.
Yeah, they do a lot of movement with the puppet, and they cover it very well.
Very well done. But yeah, he said he located a beacon, so he's going to go in for landing. And the planet looks, there's a lot of lava going on.
Yeah, the planet's real screwed.
Yeah. Then we get the ship flying over the town, and you get the little thing that the guy's holding that's in I think it's in Star Wars.
Yeah, on the Avon, yeah. Which was funny.
And then he like checks it, like
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a ship registry transponder reader or something, but
you also get when he lands. Well, also I was wondering, like, I guess there's no spaceport or landing facility. He just lands outside. So where's everyone else's ships? Where's Ahsoka's ship? Like, there's a you know, like Ahsoka has a ship somewhere. Where's it landed? Why haven't they destroyed it yet? Where's their ships? Where's the
Good question.
It's like, okay, weird. But I did like though when he goes down, you see the dinosaurs in the background eating what's basically just nothing because all the food got destroyed. And it's just like, really, you had to add this to the story that there are dying, starving dinosaurs that don't play any part in the story whatsoever. Damn, that's sad, man.
And later when he zooms in on them, they look like chameleons. They got the weird chameleon eyes and stuff. But yeah. Then Baby Yoda gets in trouble for taking the little ball. Says, no, it stays in the ship.
And it is an obvious setup, but I appreciate it. At least it's like pre-set up, you know?
It's been set up for quite a while, so yeah, absolutely.
Although, why didn't you just close the damn Razor Crest door? It's like, you just got it fixed twice. Well, you don't trust these people. You don't know who's here. Don't leave the thing open. Why? What are you doing?
And later at the end, as he walks in with Baby Yoda, the door closes, and before the door's even closed, the ship's taking off. It's like, tell me he got up there, and unless it's got an automated launch sequence that he activated or something. But anyway,
yeah.
So they decide to head to town.
Get introduced and then you get old John Connor. Nope, Carl Reese. Old Carl Reese.
Reese, yes.
Who clearly dyes his hair because his hair is still not black.
I know. The whole, are you a hunter? Are you in the guild? Last time I checked. All right. It's like, okay, that was easy. Yeah. Let's see. And little Baby Yoda, I like the fact that he's in the little satchel now and doesn't have this little egg anymore.
Well, it's cheaper for them because he's not in 93% of the shots.
Yeah.
And this is a good little town set. I'm wondering what here is fake and real because they could easily fake it all or not. So or if they just built. I'm confused. Right? I like it for the most part. Although you do realize how small this is. It's like a tiny outpost. I mean, I would be surprised if more than 1,000 people live here, and that's pushing it. Yeah. In this, when he flies,
when he flies over it though, that one shot, it looks pretty expansive, but you never get that feeling here. It's like,
this is the street, you know.
Yeah. And then we get the old gentleman who says, "Don't talk to the kids. Don't talk to anybody here." And he seems like he was the old magistrate or something, maybe, especially at the end where he kind of helps out and then gets his cloak back or whatever. He seems like he was maybe the one in charge before, although I think they would have probably killed the person in charge.
So that's obviously how they're saying at the end, like, here's your thing back. But this setup is so, like, there's no hint towards it except he's helping. But I wish they'd set that up more because that would have been great. Although, again, it's not well told that they took over. It just feels like their base. They don't quite do a good... I mean, basically, this planet doesn't matter. They don't want to explain it. Like, why are the trees destroyed? What, you know what I mean? They don't care about explaining anything. And I think this one, it's more interesting. I wish they had something, because it's all intriguing, but they kind of fail to deliver on the actual planet. So you just got to kind of ignore it. You know, like, okay, fine.
I gotta say that the torture device things are kind of cool.
The crucifixion, the crucifixion. Electrolysis. It's a nice graphic image.
You even see the guy's skeleton at one point.
Yeah. And all of a sudden, it's lovely in here.
Yeah, very Japanese garden feel for sure.
And yet still Star Wars with how the buildings are. Good set design. And I can definitely imagine this is all just one big fake. You know, the middle bit is real, everything else is digital, because it's built like with such a distinction. But you know, yeah, the outside is so gross. But obviously, this is the only bit that might have trees still. So of course, you got the best air here. So it's a very simple way of saying, oh yeah, this is the rich lady. Well, it doesn't look like any sort of military base, so I guess she just lives here and rules a little village for some reason.
Yeah, there's a lot of unanswered questions, unfortunately.
Because it feels like she built this thing, but yeah, it's weird.
Yeah. That's very weird. I love how she's like, I want to hire you. I have a problem with the Jedi. You can kill her. Oh, my price it costs a lot. And she shows him the pure solid Beskar spear, which I love how he like bangs it on his armor.
Well, he can't exactly bite into it, can he?
Well, no. I guess he can't.
Yeah.
But yeah, even she says, "I want I want her dead." He's like, "Well, that's a difficult task." I kind of love this because he just came to town to find the Jedi, and this lady's like, "Hey." Yeah.
And that was fun. I was definitely satisfied. Like, he needs her anyway.
Yeah.
Definitely skipped a lot of the story, which is good in this effect. Although to think this Mandalorian could kill a Jedi is like, well, maybe. Still a bit of a risk, but I mean, you know, it's payment on delivery, so nothing to lose. Well, I shouldn't ask why he's here. It's like, well, why have you come to my town?
That's the thing that kind of bugs me, because he walks into town, basically Michael Biehn messages her and says, "Hey, there's a dude here, a Mandalorian." She's like, "I want to see him," and then it's very straight line. I think there should have been a little bit more filler there, but that's okay.
Well, basically, just talk to the townspeople. Honestly, that's what you needed.
Yeah.
You need a couple of scenes, but it's good. I like her acting. She's very subdued acting, but it works as he is as well. So they both feel like it's very businessy, but she doesn't really feel imperial. I know she's like a governor higher end, but there's a certain lack of imperialness, more just like a, you know.
See, and that's the thing. You got the whole don't talk to the kids; you'll put them in danger. Don't talk to any of the citizens; you'll put them in danger. But there should have been expounded on a little bit, saying they came and took over 5 months ago. You know, half the town has been destroyed or something. There need to be something else there. Even just a minute or two more dialogue would have been great.
Yeah, there should have been a moment where he finds the children. The guy's like, "Come with me." What? And he pulls me around to the door, and then maybe even they break down the door and they put the guy in the torture chamber for talking to him, and then they rescue him at the end, and then they give him the thing back, saying, you know, like that was needed, was absolutely needed. And then her saying, "What are you here for?" And he's like, "Repairs." For a third time, my wrap doesn't close because you know.
Yeah. Then we get the whole "what is that?" little baby, and baby's like, eh.
Yeah.
I keep it for luck. Well, you're gonna need it. Like it's so underplayed. It's just like, this guy's gonna go die. Bye.
Yeah, and I was thinking here, okay, we're gonna give Michael Biehn not very much. He's gonna fucking rock it in the last like 10 minutes. Like we're downplaying him. So he's gonna come in with vengeance. No, not at all. Not for 1 second. This is like the best he gets. Not really. But like, I don't even think they gave him a character. Just like, right, you're playing Grumpy Mercenary #1. What? Ah, perfect. You got it. You know.
Yeah. Oh, and then some really great layered shots of the hills and the fog. It looks really great. You see Mandalorian walking along, and you get the little owl up in the left-hand corner of the screen right before Ashoka shows up, which is nice. Nice tie-in with her.
Yes. And their fight's pretty good, considering.
Actually, yes. It answers the question about Beskar. I love the block. Could you imagine if that Beskar didn't stop lightsabers? That'd be over real quick.
But obviously he knew what he was doing. I mean, yeah. It's I like the fact that we're not being afraid to use her. Like, I'm assuming she's going to be in many, many more, because it'd be a waste of everyone's,
Yeah.
To,
Yeah.
So I'm hoping this is like, the start of, she's in the season finale. Last season we had them all back in the season finale, etc. Although once you bring a Jedi in, you kind of OP the OP of the scene. Those stormtroopers were easy beforehand. Well, now we've got a Jedi. let's more stormtroopers, more. But yeah, this is actually a good fight, and I like his like, no, we don't have to fight. And then obviously get the moment of, I know you. You're green and you look like my master. And Yaddle, who I met once that I've forgotten about in my old age because she gets that wrong. Yaddle existed, and that's weird. Well, according to all the books, she died between episode 1 and 2, but that was never said in canon, and those books were uncanonized. So it's like, mate, there was 2 of them.
Mm-hmm.
Bit weird, but Stuart, we get all of the explanation, all of it.
We do. She's communing with little baby Grogu, which we find out in a second. But these shots look very Sleepy Hollow, like setting up that kind of creepy haunted forest vibe. And you can tell that Baby Yoda is basically telling her all about the Mandalorian, how good a person he is, because one moment she looks at him and kind of smiles, like, yeah, okay, this guy's a good guy. So, yeah, nice little back and forth between the 2 of them with the moon in the background. I think it looks really good.
Yeah, and it was good to finally continue this storyline. And I think it's again not what we expected, because to reveal that he does talk, he has language, he has knowledge, which then I think kind of confuses the rest of his actions in the rest of the season, because he's a knowing child, he's a knowing adult, a knowing person who can communicate fully, and yet.
Well,
being a baby,
he says as he's speaking, and he says, "Do you understand him?" And she says, "In a way."
Yeah.
So I think it has to do with the Force as well. The knowledge. He's still young. He's very young for his species. Yeah. So still.
But the fact that he can still communicate and has language, has a name and can communicate a name. But yeah, to another Jedi's is obviously different.
Mm-hmm.
But this is why I kind of wanted Ahsoka to actually act more, because she's so damn calm. Like, she's not excited, she's not particularly happy, she's super neutral. I understand, I can't train him because, 50 is too old in their terms to start training, and already, I get that, absolutely, but it's like, you don't normally find Jedi, and this is the next Yoda you've ever met. This could be really cool. And you don't get a sense it is, as if whatever her mission is trumps everything to the point of, huh. So I wish there would have been a really nice moment of something, but she kind of stays on the same emotional level the entire time. I did not like that.
Well, I love the explanation that he was at the Jedi temple and was trained by different Jedi masters as well. And we found out his name is Grogu, so that's nice. And every time the Mandalorian says it, he's, Like I love that little reaction each time.
Oh, the puppet was on form in terms of acting. They upped their puppet game this week.
But at the end of the Clone Wars, when the Empire took power, he was hidden. Someone took him away from the temple. Now, there's been a lot of talk that this is probably Mace Windu. Mace Windu survived his encounter with the Emperor, and we'll probably see him again at some point. Because I could see it was just a fall out of a window, honestly.
Obi-Wan did it in the second movie.
Everybody's fallen out of something in Star Wars and survived. So
I mean, yeah, Luke fell down a pit. The Emperor fell down a pit. They both survived.
Yes.
Although, come on, I mean, Samuel L. Jackson. I mean, yeah, he'll look well. He won't look that old, but what a great guy to bring back. I don't know if that was intentional. We're gonna kill him, but not really, because how can you kill Samuel L. Jackson? But that was interesting because I mean, we all assumed he was a clone because that's what they were, cloners from Kamino using that tech. That was how it was all implied. The fact that he seemed somewhat brain dead without a real sense of consciousness. But no, although I do think there's a slight caveat there, he may have been cloned and given the knowledge of the entity that was on the temple. So I'm not going to conclusively say he's not a clone because he still seems underdeveloped mentally for what that should be, especially being trained by many masters for many years, and you act like a baby. It's like, well, I'm not quite sure that flies. I know he's trying to hide as well. But if it's been 20 years since he's hiding, then you're training him for the first 30 years of his life. How was he born? Who by? When? Was being trained from zero? So it doesn't quite connect. So I think that's interesting. The fact that he says, once I got taken, my memory's hazy. That feels like such a clone thing. He's only given so much knowledge. The rest of it is not real.
Well, they say his memory becomes dark. He seemed lost and alone. So it could be that when he was by whoever took him, maybe mistreated him, and he kind of blocked that out, or tried to teach him the Sith ways. Maybe, I don't know, and he blocked him out. But Mr. Pete's channel needs 900 subbies. Puts in $2 and says, "For the love of the Force, don't end Mando Mondays." Thank you, Mr. Pete.
We're halfway to the super chat goal, so keep that in mind, guys. Keep up the good stuff here. So it was great information, but also convoluted a bit, and they left enough grey area. But to get a name to understand, he should know better. There's a sense of brain power there. But then, how does this creature? They say he hid for 20 years. It's like, how?
Did it say? Well, it didn't say 20 years, but
well, since he got stolen, since the Empire took over, which is 20 years. I mean, yes, it might have been for 5 or 10 years, but I mean, still for many years. Hiding that bird to walk very far, use the Force, talk, or communicate in any way. Like, he had to have been taken by somebody and looked after. This thing can't look after itself. So it hiding is a bit of a non-statement.
His memories could have been erased or deliberately altered.
If it was Mace Windu, he could have forced stopped it from knowing. That's why I think the clone theory is still perfectly valid.
I like the whole my task was to bring him to a Jedi, and she's like, well, the Jedi Order fell a long time ago, so did the Empire, yet it still hunts him. So
bum
yeah, that was great. Don't use that as an excuse,
because it's not the Order itself, it's the meeting a Jedi. Although the fact we keep him in Jedi's after Order 66 and after even Return of the Jedi, it's like, well, now we take Mark Hamill, because come on, if Ahsoka's been alive the entire time. Like, surely she's going to help, Luke with his temple, etc., etc. But it was good to get such a focus on them, for sure. But then you got quite a quick sense that Ahsoka won't be in the story as much as you want her to be, because she's not going to train him. She's not that enthusiastic. She's not, like, it isn't like, oh, great, now we're a tag team thing. It's like, no, she's just going to be another 2 or 3er. So, damn.
Well, I think she might eventually change her mind and realize that it's important. Well, anyway, we'll talk about that theory at the end. Area 51 throws in $5.
Thank you.
It's not the fall that kills you; it's the sudden stop at the end. That's true.
Yeah, that's funny.
Well, sometimes it's the fall because you die from a heart attack. But anywho, so we try to use the Force thing with the rock, and Baby Yoda doesn't want anything part of it. He just drops it. And the whole he's made a connection with you. You try to reach him, and he uses the little. Well, first he says, "Okay, kid, Grogu." It doesn't sound good coming from Mandalorian. The kid is perfectly fine.
Also, it's just Han Solo vibes. Hey, kid.
Yeah. But he takes the little ball and do you see what he did? I'm so proud of him.
Yep.
It was so well done.
He got a lot of character out of the suit in this scene, especially. Yeah. Well, I'm wondering, why does the not Rogu, that's American Dad.
Grogu.
Oh, close. Grogu. Why does he not want to lift up the original rock? Why is the other one so much? Like, I know it's because he's not a very intelligent creature yet, but there's a slight disconnect of, well, does he want to be forced? Like, I guess
he doesn't. He doesn't want to leave the Mandalorian. That's why he just dropped the rock, because he knows what's going on. He's not stupid. He knows if he does the Force thing, there's a chance that the Mandalorian's going to leave him with her, and he doesn't want to leave the Mandalorian.
But then he wouldn't have grabbed the thing out of Mandalorian's hand the second time if he's that clever.
Yes, he would. He's to show, I want to be with you. That's my ball from your ship. You need this. I'm going to come with you. It's that kind of vibe.
I suppose. But just taken literally, it's like, well, he can use the Force. I train him because he proved it. Yeah, but I guess obviously Ahsoka's sensing his brain, because part of what she says is that you bring fear in him, like because of the world you live in, there's fear, and therefore this creature can't be trained because the world you live in is such. Just like, yeah, but I mean, that makes sense. Nothing bad against him, but I mean, how many times has, I mean, 2 episodes ago he was eaten by a snake creature. So yeah, no shit.
Well, I love that she said to survive, he's had to hide his powers as well.
That's why they're almost gone.
Yeah, and so you're probably just better to let him just forget.
It's interesting. I appreciate they brought up the brightness and the color of the scene. Doesn't look as gross because it's an important scene.
War Under Technical Solutions, £2, 150 likes.
Yes.
Let's try for that 200. Well, we have 176 of you here, with people rotating in and out. If you haven't hit that like button. We can probably get 175 right away, which would be awesome. But let's go for that 200 mark. And Chili Bina puts in $5. Loved the father from Mando. So proud of his little one. Absolutely. Yeah.
That was real satisfying. Considering how little he's been in the story, but you're like, oh, you're right there with, nope, they are, it would be kind of nice if we did see more of Mando's flashbacky stuff to season 1 of being that youngling himself. I know we've already established it, but to kind of keep going with that a little bit. But this is the lost youngling.
And she goes on here to say, I've seen what those feelings can do to a fully trained Jedi Knight, even the best of us. So love that little, And yeah, she doesn't want to start the child down the path, so it's best just let his memories fade.
Yeah, but I would have thought though, you'd be like, I mean, this creature was Yoda once, as in, like, I mean, it might take 900 years to train it, but this creature might be able to save the galaxy. But then again, I guess Anakin killed the galaxy, so
yeah,
And
this is where he says, "The Magistrate hired me to kill you. I didn't accept, but I'm willing to help you out with your problem if you'll see to it that Grogu is properly trained." So they decide to team up. We small army of guards armed with A350 blaster rifles and has 2 HK-87 assassin droids and a hired gunfighter who reads as ex-military.
Yeah.
But the whole Mandalorian and a Jedi, they won't see it coming.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
And it is good because it isn't like Ahsoka could take them all out. Like, there's no question of that. And Prime Mandalorian himself could also take them all out by himself. It's not that they each couldn't do it alone. It's that they want to save the civilians. There's so many of them, they could kill people, but by splitting the focus, they wouldn't. Because, I mean, you know what I mean? Like, they weren't good enough people. I think, would you agree with me? They could both take the entire town out individually?
Probably, yeah.
So it's more about everyone else.
We find out the Magistrate's name, too, though, here. Morgan Elsbeth. Her people were massacred during the Clone Wars, so she fueled the Empire, basically created ships and plundered worlds.
She doesn't feel rich enough for that, though.
No, she doesn't.
Like 12 guards and 2 robots.
Maybe she owns the planet.
I would love that, but she doesn't, though. Which would be great. It would be great if she did. Like, I love her garden, obviously, but...
Dan23, £2. Do you think the Jedi librarian lady saved Grogu? Ooh. Possibly. That's another great idea. But yeah.
But I think Mace Windu's a fun option. Although you could ask, why didn't Yoda go and save, his own kin, as in same species? Like, rather, why couldn't he raise them in Dagobah? Didn't even bother going back from. Yeah. That's the problem with inventing shit that changes the entire galaxy. It's like, just I know 900 is a bit old to be a dad, but do you not think it's Yoda and Yaddle's love child? I mean,
that's too obvious. Come on.
Well, yeah, but they have a girl, they have a guy. They got drunk one night.
Maybe.
So yeah.
Anyway,
we get. I love the gong. Yeah. And isn't that a symbol? That's a symbol from Star Trek or Star Wars. It's like a badge or a.
It did remind me of something, but I couldn't place it.
Definitely something. I love the, we're not even gonna bother trying to be surprised. Like I was expecting this really nice, like, oh, we took my surprise. No, just gonna walk up and let them. It's like, you have surprise. You can jump these walls, Ahsoka. Oh dear.
Yoda let go of the things he was afraid to lose, including Grogu. It's Christopher.
And he made more mistakes. Yeah, and that was a mistake, as was everything
Yeah.
he did. I mean, sorry, like, he should have known better. Like, if he wanted to take on Palpatine, he could have. He didn't want to, because the story had to happen. It's like, if they were filmed the other way around, Episode 4 would not be the same as Episode 4. Like, they wouldn't have ended... Because you know how Padme dies of a broken heart because they didn't know how to kill her apart from that? Yeah. Because they didn't know where to go with that. They had nowhere else to go.
Ooh, Ba logo of Thrawn's fleet, or the Andorian logo. I think that's the one I'm thinking. It looks like the Andorian one. The Sporkmeister, $2. No. I want to see a drunk Yoda fight.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not the Andorian logo. It's not the Thrawn logo. It's a badge. Darn it. That's frustrating. But I like this fight. I like the use of the blade. They feel so practical on set, like too practical. They feel less magical. It's weird.
Well, I love that the gong gets sliced in half. That's just awesome.
Wonderfully.
I was waiting for that the whole time.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And then all of the guards, to wit, all 12 of them.
Yeah, and the 2 assassin droids. And she just basically, I love the whole throwing down the whatever it's called. And your bounty hunter failed because it's like, yeah, chances are he probably would have.
Yeah.
And good way to throw them off because, yeah, that was fantastically done.
Now,
and the only problem is we never see him pick it up. He shows up later. He's not wearing it. Then he helps the old man get the other people out of the thing, and then the next scene he's wearing it. We needed a scene of him picking it up and putting it back.
Or her giving it back, saying you did good for a Mandalorian. You did good for a Jedi. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was really excited at this point. Though I was like, "Oh, now with all pieces in place, let's have an epic fight. Let's have an epic everything." I was like, "Okay, we're here." Michael Biehn, you got a gun. You got some shit, you know. And are those the HKs? Do they got the blasters from the Phantom Menace? I feel like they do. The the droid blasters. I think they are. Although they're pretty crap blasters. I don't know why you necessarily use them, but that's okay.
I do like Michael Bihn's shotgun blaster though. That is cool.
Yeah, me too.
Killer. I'd love to. And then you get like the. John Shamness puts in $20. Thank you very much.
Awesome.
Cap said to catch the live, but I'm working, sadly. We'll watch later. Just wanted to support Mandalorian reviews by Trekyards. Been such a welcome addition to my viewing experience in Trek. I hope it can remain also in Star Wars. Thank you very much. Very much appreciated. You guys are really killing it. We're almost at our goal we kind of set for ourselves.
Yeah, and Paul's asking another $100, and then we'll be past the green line. And that's not that much, guys. So yeah, I mean, I want to get 200 likes and $101, and we are about there. So well done, guys.
Yeah, we were aiming for 200 likes, and we're almost there. I don't know if we'll get quite that with the viewers, but the viewers are up. The viewers are way up from the last few weeks. So you guys are killing it. So
it was a better episode, though, to be fair.
Yes, it was. But it can only get better from here?
What's the thing? Where is it going to go from here? That's the confusing thing. We've now sort of finished the initial arc of the Baby Yoda story.
Well, I have some theories as to where it may go once we find out at the end where they're going. So let's get there and talk about that.
So this is my... Sorry.
No, I was going to say not a lot happens here, just a lot of fighting. Her jumping up on the roof, very Japanese, like crouching tiger, hidden dragon type stuff. The thing I didn't like though was when she turns and runs away. The turn she did is kind of half-assed and lazy because they're still firing at her, and she does a turn and flicks the lightsaber back, but they miss her with I don't know. I thought it was a little bit lame, but oh well.
Yeah, and my only annoyance with this is that their entire point of her running is that if enough blaster fire comes their way, she won't necessarily block it all. That's how all of the Jedi got killed in, Order 66. There was enough firepower and surprise, both combined. You can only block so many things, etc., etc. And so once they start going to the small corridor, I'm like, oh, like that's it. Like they just kill Predator style, one at a time or two at a time. Like instantly, There's no tension. There's no really interest here. There's nothing to set us apart except we just need to make some cheap scenes, which is a shame because I was really expecting like a cool, phalanx of people with guns raised, and she runs and they try and shoot, and then he comes in and a strategy here. But it kind of, I guess they just ran out of money or didn't know what to do because it's not a good, like it's obvious, It's not.
TMA though throws in $5.
Thank you.
That shotgun blaster would be the bane of a Jedi. Surprised the galaxy didn't think of such a weapon.
Although he didn't use it enough to really get a sense of how powerful it is.
No, he didn't.
So it would have been perfect if he shot it and she couldn't block it all. And that's like, oh shit.
And even if she got hit or her robe did or something like that, yeah, absolutely.
Like, give us a sense that that's strong enough. And then she could just, like, I don't know how, but she would, like, tell Mando it's also Beskar steel, a bull. Like, it can make dents, etc. Because, like, just having a good weapon is all you need, necessarily, to be born in this fight. But they don't set up enough to really get a sense. And you can say, oh, yeah, he's that powerful, but also gets killed like a bitch. So, it's like, Well, so do the droids. I mean, he has two amazing assassin droids, both killed effortlessly. It's like, oh, okay, well... Yeah. Well,
the magistrate says, execute these people, and then go door to door. And that's when the Mandalorian shows up. And the old guy was coming out of his house for that. And ends up working with the Mandalorian. So that's a good tie-in for the ending of the story. So
yeah, I mean, there's a lot of like hints here that you can sort of say, well, they probably meant this. But this was what, 48 minutes? It wasn't quite 50. They should have done 5 more minutes. Yeah.
It was 44 minutes.
Oh.
And that was with the
oh, you're right.
Last time on and stuff, yeah. So
yeah. Could have an extra 10 minutes then. Like to just sort of enjoy it. But I did like the idea of this the standoff. Like you were not expecting him to walk away correctly. But also shows how little Mandalorian even does in this scenario. But I did like the visual though, where he, she's standing on top of the thing and he's there. That was great. It was like, yep, we already killed 3 guards. It took 1 minute 44 seconds. Bitch.
The one visual I really liked was the two of the guards and her behind them with both lightsabers like this.
That was a weird.
And then separate. I don't know what exactly was going on there, but it was a really cool look.
I've never seen that before. Yeah.
Yeah. And later when you or earlier when she was walking up, the handles are curved, which I didn't really know was a thing.
Well, so Dooku's handles are curved.
So. I know Dooku's were. I didn't know hers were though.
Yeah.
I haven't
she's
watched
a new character. You really like almost new character. Yeah. So. But yeah, they win pretty easily, and then we get to the 2 levels of boss fight. One of which is a classic sort of at high noon single pistol draw. Even though one is wearing full bulletproof armor and one is not, so it's not really a fair fight. But hey, they keep doing that.
Yeah. But, well, the other one's very Japanese style. So one's very Wild West. One's very Japanese movie style. Yeah. Both done very well, I think.
Yeah. But I did like this fight overall. I thought it was quite elegant, and. But since you didn't quite know what motivations were, it was not quite... It's like, she's Imperial, it did bad things, but why is Ahsoka here? Like, it had to be really important, but she didn't quite feel important enough, so it wasn't fully set up enough to really connect to it, beyond just, it's a fight between the goodie and the baddie.
It was Kill Bill, that's what it was.
Yeah, it was. It really was. That's great...
Well, that was done after this tradition of the Japanese as well, so Japanese movies, so... But yeah, Ahsoka even loses a lightsaber in the water, so I guess they're kind of, like I said, I still would have slid my lightsaber down and cut her fingers off, but what do I know? When I thought that at the time, I'm thinking, yeah, but at the same time, to be able to fight somebody honorably that is the same skill level as you is a challenge, because you just killed all these other people. That was just like just another day at the office.
Just like stormtroopers.
So to get to meet up with somebody that's actually, your own level or better, or you assume, you actually don't want to take the shortcut and win that fight really quickly. You want to kind of enjoy it, I don't know.
Yeah. Although since the Jedi has the ability to tap into the Force for stamina, and she's just a humanoid, it's like she can fight way longer than you can. So, so honourable for a certain amount of time. But it doesn't.
I love it.
Yep.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was fine.
Because I love the Michael Biehn line of, who do you think's going to win? Your side could, my side could. And then he says the whole, we're very much alike, you and I, both fighting for a cause that's just, and this is not that. So I'm like, okay, cool. When she loses, I assumed that he was going to turn around and walk away, because that would have been awesome to have him maybe come back at some point.
Yep.
But unfortunately, that's not necessarily the
It was
case.
such an obvious setup that felt so natural, and like, yeah, he's a hired gun. Guess what? The person paying just got killed.
Yep.
And that would be, and then he can hire him later. And you can imagine this guy and the guy from the first episode being quite fun together, because one's like, "Hey man," and the other's like, "Ugh, you're too chipper. Ugh, I killed men like you every day, and I've killed men like you, but I can still smile. Oh, I hate you even more." Like, great chemistry you can imagine. But I think they should honestly just hire an unknown. This was a waste of everyone's time to hire this guy. He added nothing to it, and he didn't look very good either. Which is sad, because I like him as an actor just fine, but he wasn't good in this. But he wasn't given good stuff. So, what can you do, you know?
Yeah. But you had to have the quick draw. You had to have the quick draw win, Anyhow, whatever. So she asked, "Where is your master? Where's Grand Admiral Thrawn?"
It's important.
Yep. And we don't get an answer, but we assume that she told her, I guess.
And do you know who Grand Admiral Thrawn is?
Oh yeah, he's the blue guy. I know who he is.
Yes. He's one of my favourite characters in all of Star Wars. Mostly because of his books appearances, and I actually met Timothy Zahn, as I've told you about that before.
Yeah.
And got to interview him for the show. We have the interview still in the buffer somewhere. That was really, really, it was excellent writing. And I've seen some of Rebels, who was less good in Rebels, but I mean, he's not written by a massive award-winning writer. Of course, he's as good as Rebels.
So, as a big fan of Thrawn, who do you think should play Thrawn? Because that's kind of was thrown around last night in the first reaction. Some people are saying Ron Perlman.
Oh God,
Ron
no.
Perlman.
Too old.
I don't think.
Wow. No.
Yeah, I don't think that would work.
Thrawn has a very sort of square face.
Yep.
He needs to underact everything, but in a very professional way. But he needs to have that real intelligent. I mean, that's a hard one to cast, because you can play a non-acting actor. I know some people said Keanu Reeves, which I thought was a weird choice, because, I mean, I would understand, like, he could probably act it, but he wouldn't be the character, and he wouldn't look right either. Honestly, I would hire an unknown. I wouldn't go like this big celebrity. I would get someone who is, in his third. Well, I guess it'd be. Well, I mean, he's an alien species. Does he age? Who the hell knows? But I guess a 40-year-old person, probably maybe like not a muscle builder, but like someone who's built, good shoulders, thin waist, very crispy form, like perfectly fitted, who can act smart. I suppose also Benedict Cumberbatch potentially. I could see more, but you'd get distracted. Like, I'm distracted. This is Rosario Dawson. Like, oh yeah, it's her, rather than it's Ahsoka Tano. You know, was less of a problem with Starbucks. She looked so different, but that's kind of good for them. So I would hire an unknown. I would bring someone in that just feels the part, rather than anyone trying to be a big celebrity. Unless he's like, because the thing is, you've now got several big bads. It's like, well, they're all pretty damn bad. Although Moff Gideon is nothing compared to Thrawn, so to introduce Thrawn makes Gideon look like, what the hell's the point? Like, oh, he's just a 2-season baddie, and Thrawn's like the 7-season baddie. But it was a great reference. I have no idea if he was alive or dead or whatever. I had no idea where he was.
Yeah.
So.
Speaking of alive or dead, do you think that she killed her? Do you think that Ahsoka killed her, or
It was
would
a
that
hard
be the
cut,
thing
wasn't it?
that she would do? Yeah, we never got an answer for that. Go get my lightsaber.
But things I also feel like if she didn't kill her, the people would either kill her, put her in the torture device, or because you don't see the lady's ship. You don't get a sense she has any sort of presence there beyond her little alcove. She doesn't. I don't know. It was such a. What did you think? What was your gut reaction instantly?
Honestly, I didn't think about it until after the fact, and then I thought it's very likely that she killed her, but would you just kill her in cold blood like that? I don't know.
Although you could argue, she says, pick up the spear, one more hit, stab. Hey, it was in cold blood. It's like, oh. You can cheat it really easily.
201 people here and 188 likes.
Ooh.
Let's get to 200 likes. So we want to hit 200 likes if we can.
And $100, guys. If we can get 50, and I'll take 50. We're on that yellow line right now, getting closer, but at least 50 more bucks. And I've not read all the new Thrawn stuff. I started reading one of them, but I didn't, because it's hard to start the new Thrawn books because I know all his old canon, and it's hard to sort of reset. Because I know, like, you feel like you know all his entire backstory. But I have to at some point. But I'm not, the new stuff is far worse than the old stuff in terms of the episodes 7, 8, and 9. So it's kind of hard to be like, oh, is it really fun to be in that universe? Not as much as it used to be. But I kind of assumed she got killed. Well, I was kind of waiting, actually, just like with the Yellow Imperial guy, that she kills herself before giving information. She felt like that sort of lady. But it's weirdly ambiguous. So you might see her again. I mean, you might see, her hyperspacing in a ship to Thrawn, and then I don't know.
I almost expected to see her in the stocks or in the torture thing and leave her to the villagers,
who now are real happy after 5 minutes. Like, wow, that was a very quick turnaround to we've been oppressed for unknown time, and now having a party in unknown time. It's like, I guess you weren't. So it felt like she basically took over the planet like 45 hours ago or 45 days ago. It felt very, they clearly weren't oppressed for 20 years. It was a very weird vibe there.
The Sporkmeister puts in $2.
Brilliant.
Seemed like more city behind the villa with towers. Oh yeah, I'm sure there was. When you saw the ship come in, you could see like this vast city. But it just seemed very small. This set is like one street.
Which is classic for them to do. But then just didn't do it fully enough. Like, you need to see a spaceport. You need to see a cutaway of like a garrison. It started feeling big and it ended up feeling really small.
Yeah. Then she offers him the Beskar spear, and he's like, "No, I can't accept it. I didn't finish the job." And she's like, "No, man, this belongs with the Mandalorian." So, and then he's like, "I'm gonna go get Grogu."
And I like this moment because it's another. Not that she would lose to him, but here is a weapon, an offensive Beskar weapon that you can use to block me in my weapon. Like, this is actually an anti-lightsaber weapon. This is not so much everything. It says, I'm trusting you. That's what that is.
Is this going to be used against the Darksaber at some point in Moff Gideon?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. But I just thought that was a, it's an anti-Jedi weapon. He's now got fully anti-Jedi armor, except also the fabric bits and a weapon. That's the way that was played, I thought was very good.
Doug Adil throws in $20 with no comment. So I assume that he's the one that wants Mandalorian Mondays to continue, because that is awesome. Thank you so much. Wish you would have commented, though. We would have really appreciated that.
I think he has commented with his bucks.
Yes.
And that orange is good. Nice.
And 8 more likes would be awesome to hit that 200 mark. I know it's hard with 198 people here, but I assume people have come in and out of the stream, and some might have not hit like. So if you just hit that like button, that'd be awesome. We'd appreciate it.
200, guys. 200.
And you guys are doing fantastic. You're showing your support. This is what we asked for season 1 to see whether it was worth it. You came through so well in season 1. It just unfortunately kind of fell off. So, but thank you guys for turning up today. We really appreciate that.
Yeah.
2 more likes. 2 more likes. Chili Bina throws in $5. Cool. Will we see Pedro's face this season? All we got was chin so far. Yes, I'm sure we will, actually. I expect at some point for him to be alone, like the child gets,
we need
whatever,
that.
and he'll be on his ship. He can have it off. Apparently, somebody was saying earlier they could probably have it off in front of other clan members, and I don't think that's the thing. Because the armor lady said, have you taken it off in front of anyone? Has anyone removed it? So I don't think even their own kind can see them.
Otherwise, in those scenes, they would not be wearing their helmets, would they?
Yeah, exactly.
They would be completely new to that entire sequence. And Doug says, here's the actual comment. Some love for Mandalorian Mondays and the venerable Trekyards. Very kind.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And Sergeant Roadkill, £2, chipping in for more Mando content. Awesome. Thank you so much, guys. We're almost there, like $14 away. Well, would like more, but 14 is the minimum.
Yeah,
We'll do it.
which is good. Hey, it's good that we got to the minimum.
Yeah,
that's good. So we do appreciate that. Definitely helps. And boy, this guy has such a I'm the head of this city feel.
Yeah.
Great casting for his 5 seconds at the end. But it's like, yeah, but tell us anything about him, because
yeah, it seems like he was the old magistrate that got dethroned, but at the same time, somebody like her moving in would kill the old magistrate immediately. So,
or be in the stocks as a way of symbolizing.
Yes, absolutely.
But again, if she was only there like 3 weeks, she wouldn't necessarily care as much. It was weird. And where's bloody Ahsoka's ship, etc. You know?
Yeah. But he goes into his ship and wakes up the little guy and says it's time to say goodbye. And Baby Yoda says 5 more minutes.
But only gives him 2 though. Yeah. Good dad, but not that good.
And then she says, "You're like a father to him, but I cannot train him." And Mandalorian is like, you made a promise, and I held on my end of the deal. So what's up? She goes, "There's one possibility. Go to the planet Tython. You will find the ancient ruins of a Jedi temple, and that has a strong connection to the Force. Place Grogu on the Seeing Stone at the top of the mountain. Then he may choose his own path. If he reaches out through the Force, there's a chance a Jedi may sense his presence and come to search for him. Then again, there aren't many Jedi left." And then he flies off into the sunset. Now my thought here, this is like 6-7 years after Return of the Jedi. So Ben Solo is probably 4 years old at this point, you think?
I would really have to look into those timelines, because maybe, I guess.
I think season 1 was 6 years after, so this is supposed to be like 7 years after Return of the Jedi.
From Adam Driver doesn't look very young, but that would mean that Leia and Han had a baby straight away, which is like the more important thing to do than have a baby after they've destroy the entire government.
They do it on purpose.
Okay.
That happens,
Well,
otherwise I wouldn't have any kids. Anyway, so anyway, yeah, I assume that if Grogu reaches out with the Force, Luke is probably starting to set up his training academy for Jedi.
Something, yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. So it'd be cool if he came to grab him to train him, and maybe he dies, and when Ben Solo collapses the thing down, who knows?
Yeah.
But I would just like to see Luke come. We've kind of been speculating that he might make an appearance.
Although, wouldn't it be great? No, just jump off your great link to The Last Jedi there. Would it be great if when they retcon something wonderful, that when they said, and Ben took some of the students with him, Ben Solo takes Grogu to Snoke, and we see a great scene of Andy Serkis back, and he's like, "What the fuck is this? I'm here in my gold pajamas. You thought I wanted to? Oh my god!"
And Baby Yoda claws him, and that's why he's got the big scar.
No, Force claws him. Yeah. You're a bad man. Yeah, but that's actually a good way of killing them, though, Baby Yoda's to kill him in the temple. That's actually quite an organic way of doing that. But yeah, I mean, obviously, Mark Hamill could appear, but there can only be so many to keep making it redundant as there's so many Jedi alive, because the more you have, the more should have helped him during the first 3 films. Now you could have Yoda's Force Ghost appear, because he can do that. He does it, he makes lightning in Last Jedi, so that'd be kind of cool if Mandalorian's like, oh my god.
Well, Bill Barkley at the beginning had an idea. He said it wasn't Luke, it was... I can't even go back that far, unfortunately. Damn it. Bill, if you're still here, let us know.
Yes.
But Paul Graham says, I'm seeing this as a start towards a unification between the Mandalorian people and the Jedi. Could Grogu be the catalyst? Maybe.
Well, since the Mandalorian represents a sect that got wiped out that believed in one certain creed, and the other Mandalorians we saw don't believe at all in it, and they're led by a specific leader, no, I would not agree. Maybe if Mandalorians become a Jedi. But I don't know. That's weird. There's. I mean, the fact is, these guys literally invented the expanded universe of Rebels and Clone Wars. They have so many things they could pull from that they did.
Yeah.
But there aren't enough Jedi alive to pull from. So if it's not Mark Hamill or young Luke, how many more can you possibly have? I mean, it could be Leia, but
Well-
they, we haven't got Carrie
Well,
Fisher.
Bill Barkley's answered, and he says Ezra Bridger,
Mm-hmm.
which is
The one
somebody
from
I don't know.
Rebels.
I don't know the name.
The
So
Rebels character.
yeah.
Or the only other
So I
Jedi.
mean, that would be fine too if they're because it's Dave Filoni's kind of baby, isn't it?
Mhm.
Clone Wars and Rebels. So
Although for me, Ezra character, I didn't watch the end. I watched near the end, but never grabbed me, even though I watched like 3 seasons of Rebels. So I'd be like,
I watched like the first 4 or 5 episodes of Rebels because I was excited for it, and it's just kind of
yeah,
like the time changed it was on, and I just fell out of it.
yeah. It kind of starts weak because they're resetting, but also it's like once you depower everyone, and it's just like, yes, we're gonna keep being on one planet and fight the Empire, sort of. Like, it gets better once it has more scope. But I definitely wasn't that interested in finishing the show. I mean, I'm sure I will have to.
I'm going to start binging Clone Wars and Rebels.
Yeah,
Probably tonight.
And to be fair, you can probably skip to, if you know what Rebels is, you can skip season 1 and just kind of, like I've seen some good stuff. Like Doctor Who, Tom Baker was an important character. Was fun.
Yeah, I watched a lot. I watched most of season 1, and I thought Ahsoka was annoying as hell. But anyway,
but that's what she was though. That was a big growth season.
Snips.
Yeah.
Eugene, though, 100 rubles.
Thank you.
Yay, Tython, not some dumb toe. What? P.S. Following episodes weren't spoiled by trailers, were they? Following episodes weren't spoiled by the trailers, were they? Not that I'm aware of.
Is there a Mandalorian trailer for the rest of the episodes? I haven't seen them.
I haven't seen it either.
It's kind of good though. I have no idea where it's going.
Yeah. And Paul Graham throws in $15. 205 likes. I promised, hopefully over the top. This is the way. Yes, that did put us over the top by $2 for our minimum. So thank you very much, Paul. And then Steve Major throws in another $20, which is amazing. Thank you so much. Been watching you guys since you started. Thanks for the great entertainment over the years. Well, thank you, Steve.
That's a long old
That means
time.
a lot. That means a lot. So.
And guys, we're officially only, and this is not a lot, $22 away from hitting our green milestone.
Yes.
That's it. 22. We haven't done our scores yet. So put your scores in. Just throw some vibes with your score. And how many likes, Stuart? Set your final goal, and we can start to close out.
4 more likes. Let's go to 220.
Well, okay.
I mean, we've already hit our minimums, so Mandalorian Monday isn't going anywhere anytime soon.
Oh no.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Anywho.
Yeah.
Fun episode. Dawson as Ahsoka. I thought it was great. I think she did a good job. This was, like I said, my favorite episode of Mandalorian. I'd have to go back and watch season 1 again, but this one I really, really enjoyed just because of the vibes I got for movie like Excalibur. So the medieval, the Japanese, and the gunslinger thing, it was tied in so well here. Michael Biehn showing up was awesome, even though he didn't do anything. He sounded like Michael Biehn, did not look like Michael Biehn. The whole forest, just the overall look of this, even though it was muddy and gross, the forest parts really did it for me. I liked those, and again, that had a very medieval feel for me, which I really appreciated. Other than that, it was cool that I found out that Bruce Lee's goddaughter is the baddie. That's awesome, actually. So. We got a name for the child, who's now Grogu. Everybody's like, I'm not going to call him that. I'm going to call him Baby Yoda. No, you won't. In a year, everybody will call him Grogu. You know that's going to happen. So don't even say you're not going to call him that. So all that being said, I can't give it a perfect score because I forget, there was 1 or 2 things that kind of annoyed me.
Well, we wanted more exposition, a bit more characterization on Ahsoka, a bit more the guy talking. Any better Michael Biehn or no Michael Biehn? A little bit less muddy, a little bit longer, a little more. I mean, there's loads of little things that could just be done better. Like, it's by no means perfect. And I think if this was not Star Wars, it would be like, that's fine. You know? It's because it links into the universe, but that's obviously a different score because of that. Like, it's not bad, but we shouldn't say, it's perfect, because it really is not perfect.
No, it's not. I wasn't saying that. I'm saying, as far as Star Wars goes, this is like one of the funnest Star Wars things I've seen in a long time. That's new. So I'm going to give it a 9.5 out of 10. I know you're judgmental of my scores. That's fine.
I just get to look at them while we do them. I get to give.
I know.
Yeah.
I don't have them here, so I don't know.
It's just weird. I feel like there's something holding the show back. Either it's budget or lack of time, because they kind of rushed this season out. Something is...
Episodes are too short. That's one of the problems.
There's a disconnect between, like again, the first episode for me was better than this. Better, like, more interesting characters, better scenarios, better visuals. The guest was better. Mandalorian was better himself. It was longer. Like, that was just a better episode. That was almost, like, comparison, that was, like, really, really good. This is good, but, like, I wish it, like, if it had been on the planet where the lady gets killed in the third one, the Ferrica, I don't know, if it could have been kind of a green planet, was colourful. Like, I wanted it more colourful, you know, give us more of like a Japanese garden vibe, the whole thing. Like, that would have improved it for me.
Cherry blossoms, pink colors everywhere. Yes,
that would have made it better. Bit more from Ahsoka. The Mando stuff was pretty good. Can't floor it. The thing with Michael being completely do it differently, and more guards. Even if you kill them, add more guards. So there's weird things like, why did you do that? You should have done it a different way and just would have been better objectively. Not that it was bad, just you could have really, like, given it oof, you know?
The guard thing is interesting because if there's too many guards, then just killing the head lady wouldn't have done anything, because it would have been like killing the emperor for the empire. It would still exist, right? But if the guards were robotic, let's say, and you shut down the central command center for them and they all power off at the end so that the citizens can start wailing on them. Yeah, you know, something like that would have made it more of a threat, and then an easily solvable thing.
And this is Jericho. Yes, Ysalamiri is what I was thinking of. Thank you. I know it was a weird one. Yes, Ysalamiri, great creature. No, actually, I agree with that wholeheartedly. If you'd had 15 real guards, and then at the end, once the first round get killed, just like a classic video game, the doors open and like 20 of the robots come out, all and with variations of weapons, and Mandalorian's like, shit, has to run, and then Michael Biehn doesn't die, and he convinces him to help, and he turns off the robots, so they work together on that. You know, that would have been better, I think. Yeah, but it's still good. Score-wise, it's not as good as the first one, but the first one now looks better in retrospect. But I can't rate it higher than the first one, so I'm kind of stuck a little bit with how I can rate it, because I'm looking at my scores. So I'm gonna rate it as little lower as the first one I can, but better than all the other ones this season. So 7.4, as high as I can go and be consistent.
Okay.
But I'll probably have to now give the first one like an 8.5 and give this one an 8, if I actually have the freedom to do that. I can't go back and change.
At the end of the season, we can modify.
Yes.
Remember, that's our rule.
Yeah.
And that'll be during the drunk retrospect of season 2.
But I would be surprised if it wasn't second best of this season. I would be surprised if they make a better one, because the season has been way more hit and miss. I mean, if they have like an epic end of season finale with Ahsoka, with everyone back in it like they did for season 1, and it's like really money spent. But yeah, I just wish it looked less gross. That would have helped, you know.
No, I can see that.
Yeah, but I think obviously I'm not pulling from any of the nostalgic stuff of the stuff you're pulling from. It feels like Excalibur films, and none of that's coming through for me. And I know Ahsoka, but not enough to be like, oh my god. Whereas Thrawn, I'm excited. Obviously, I know Thrawn, but you know, we'll see.
Interesting. Has nobody's? Oh, we got one super chat score. Guys, if you want to super chat your scores, please feel free, or put them in the regular chat as well. We would love to hear your thoughts on this. Tangerine Star 26, £2. Take my money. Thanks for all your hard work. 9 out of 10. You stole my score. Well, I gave it.
And TMA says, not every planet could look pretty, Samuel. Not what I was saying. The first few scenes on Mustafar in Rise of Skywalker, it was a dead planet with red trees. Looked beautiful. The way they lit it, shot it, and did it looked better and more beautiful, even though it was a destroyed planet. I mean, even just Mustafar. It's a destroyed lava planet. looked nicer, you know. So that, yes, you can make every thing look beautiful, and some shots did look beautiful here, but most didn't.
Yeah.
So.
And you could do that multiple ways. With him approaching the planet, you could see like green, and then this one ugly brown spot where he's heading towards. And then even the forest is perfect. That has to stay the same. The town being grungy and kind of is also fine. But once you open those gates, sure, you got the trees, you got the Japanese gardens type of thing. But like I said, have something that resembled cherry blossoms, like really bright colors inside the palace to be a real offset to the grungy dark. That would be what would be fine for me, you know.
I think it would have helped me, like, to just make the first scenes brighter. I know the first, like, make the first scene actually night and not just grungy half night, because there's a kind of grunge in the air. Like, make it almost pitch black. You know, it's hard to convey it, but I know what they're doing. But guys, we are now only $12 away from our green goal. I'd love to see some scores.
Well, we got one. Ruben Loza puts in $5, so thank you. A 9.2 out of 10.
Yeah, pretty high.
Cool.
But it would be interesting though to go back and rewatch all, I guess, 16 and like rescore them, because there's such a mixed bag now. That'd be pretty interesting. Although I will say, I didn't think this was gonna happen, but I am looking forward to Discovery each week now more than Mandalorian. I think they're doing a better season, like without much reservation. I don't think Mandalorian's doing anything better this year than Discovery.
Ooh.
Hot take.
Rebel Poet 71, I'd say 4 out of 10, less than average for this series. Ooh, that's harsh.
But let's read some non-subtitles. I'd love to know what you guys think. So 9 out of 10 from Aussie. Those are not scores. 9 out of 10 Grogu Baby Yoda. And James says, yes, every episode needs to be 50 minutes. 50 to 60 minutes. Every single episode. That is a must. They have unlimited money from Disney. It's laying itself down. It really is. You know, something about it. Because first episode was such a good balance, you know? 7 out of 10. 9, 9, 7, 9, 9, 8.5. 8. 8.5, 8.9. The 4 you already read. 9, 9, 9, 8. Yeah, I would have given it 8 if I had the ability to change my scores. So, you know.
Okay. Well, Tenchi 2K7 throws in $5 and says 9 out of 10 for Mandalorian. So awesome. So yeah, $5 away now from the and we hit 226 for likes. That is awesome. Excellent. Guys. If you haven't hit if you haven't hit the like button yet, go ahead and do that. Let's see how high we can get on those. But that is awesome. I'm really glad Mandalorian Mondays has been saved. You guys have come through. The Force was strong with you.
And there's only 3 more to come into. So, you know, if you want these to keep going, you're right there. Because I think if next week we don't see a similar success, then we'll just do the last 2 as a 2-part single live like we did last year. That might be what we do anyway, just to kind of make it like a more of an event. I think I might actually save them and actually watch them both. I think I knew we were doing that. I might have watched them actually back to back. Can't quite remember.
Paul Graham, it was too short, too grungy inside. Sad about being strange fight. That's my 7 out of 10. Thank you, Paul. Kai L. Wong throws in £5, which is awesome with no comment, but thank you so much. And that hit our goal. That is awesome. We're $3 over our goal.
Boom, boom, boom.
And 29 likes as well. So you guys really came through, and I really appreciate that. So thank you so much.
And it wasn't that I was concerned about this. I just didn't have any expectation because, you know, it's not mandatory. You know, like with anything, this is a purely like we're doing because we like it, you're doing because you like it, and you're supporting us. Let's us do it, and then you get to put your voice in. So it's kind of a is there enough interest? Yeah.
Yeah, our only thing was the engagement and interactions. If we could do a discovery topic on a Monday and make what we're making here and get the interactions and the likes and the views and the analytics, that's what we would have done instead, because it was just it was always a dip on Mondays for this, and unfortunately,
heavy dip, like 1/3. Yeah. That's why I said. But it's nice. I mean, I feel that the chat's been more engaged. Has some great comments.
But it was a better episode for a lot of people because Ahsoka was in it. So it'll be interesting to see what next week holds. I'm excited, of course. I hope that the rest of the season is an upward swing.
Yeah.
But we'll have to see. I'll have to see.
I think one thing this episode benefited from is it wasn't a side quest and it didn't feel it felt more focused. You know?
Yeah.
It's like we really want to know the main story, but you can tell this is like a 5-year arc they've planned. You know, they had no intention of telling it. But then again, if you think about it, you know, in the olden days of only 10 years ago, TV shows are 22, 24, 26 episodes. And so, and in fact, I heard a thing by one of the, you'll find this funny, Stuart, by one of the Orville people that we know. Someone was saying to him on his Facebook, you know, oh, come on, guys, Mandalorian managed to make a full season. You guys haven't even finished season 2. And he said, well, first of all, they finished filming before we did. Second of all, they have 1/3 of the episodes we do. And 3, they film it in a studio. We film it all over the place. I mean, more cast members. So we make 3 seasons of Mandalorian. It would be in a year. So what you on about? You know, if we're only making 8 episodes, of course it's easier. But we make 13, 24, whatever.
Yeah. Who were they comparing it to?
Mandalorian. Oh, Orville. No. Sorry, Orville.
Oh, okay.
So they're making 13 episodes. Of course, it's 2 Mandalorian seasons in the same time.
Yeah.
And they're normally longer, etc.
But you got like Dave Filoni and what's the other guy's name? Yeah, they love the universe. They love the everything Star Wars, and they probably have this overarching story, which is good. It's not like Discovery season 1. It's like we don't know what we're doing because we had to change, and that was quite obvious. So. Yeah, and it's actually obvious for season 3 of Discovery as well, because they had this whole season planned, and it's showing this season. So
the only issue is it's just too slow to give us the story this year and last year too. Like we said, compress the first 3 into 2 would have helped a ton, and then you've had more episodes in. Like they know they have unlimited episodes, so they can take their time. But there is such a thing as telling a story too slowly, and ineffectively and inefficiently. There's a reason why the Lord of the Rings are only the 2-hour 20 versions, and there's the extended versions, which most people do not watch as the standard version because it's too long. There's things that just don't need to be in it as a movie, but if someone wants to enjoy the universe, they add to the overall universe, but not the movie per se. Like it weakens the movie perhaps, but it extends the universe.
Yeah. And Bill Barkley, by the way, those blue things that Grogu ate last episode are real food. They're called macaroons. Yeah, and that's what I said last week.
I had them.
Sylvia's a huge fan of macaroons.
Delicate.
We get them all the time. Yes.
Marie actually went to France and got me a shirt and a box of macaroons. So we had French macaroons from a bakery in London. Which was quite nice. Yeah.
Fancy. Tangerine Star at 26, £5. I would really like to know why they're holding back on budget and episode length. At this point, it's a hindrance. I don't know what that means. LFD should be more confident in making hay.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, like you said earlier, Michael Biehn probably took a big chunk of that. So did Rosario Dawson. The guest stars obviously get that. So,
but this episode felt more expensive than last week, and this had. But I guess last week you had the 2, Carl and whatever. But it's like the Patrick Stewart effect. You know, if he's in it, 1/30 budgets go on him. But that's weird. But you would think that Rosario is such a big Star Wars fan. But often you would charge less if you're in more episodes, because then per episode you get paid less, but you get obviously more because you're in it for more episodes. So you know, a one-off performance. But if it's like per minute, I mean, Michael Biehn was a 1-day shoot. You know. He's there for a day. He had no costume. His makeup was easy. So, he was probably only,
Maybe he still looks really good and the makeup's amazing. It makes him look old.
No, I think we actually look better than he did. I've actually vaguely met him. Like, I've seen him from across the thing. He looks worse without professional makeup.
I mean, he still has his hair like Hicks, though. Like when he was at London Comic-Con a few years ago, he didn't look that bad. Jesus.
Yeah.
But slicking it back, I mean, shows the receding hairline and stuff, so, makes you look older.
Well, it's just that a man of that age doesn't have black hair still. There's a disconnect of too many wrinkles with the hair color,
Yeah.
That's why often you can
at least it wasn't, like, dripping down from him sweating.
Oh. Yeah. But it wasn't bad. He just was misused and badly cast. Like, Cad Bane. Yeah, that'd be fun. But guys, last super chat slot is coming Tangerine Star. We are over our whatever. If you get 6 more likes, 4 more likes, sure. So until then, tomorrow we will see you for something else, I'm sure.
We'll come up with some kind of topic for tomorrow.
Some kind of topic. And then Wednesday we are predictions for Discovery Season 3. As we're in the second half of the season. And then we start back up with the classic formula, Stuart, of your first reaction on Friday, and then we'll be back at Mandalorian before we know it.
TMA, $2, 8.8 out of 10. The story arc was more here. I agree. Yes, so thank you. So TMA now has the last super chat slot. So thank you. But yeah, we'll keep your eye on the notifications. Make sure your notification bell icon is clicked to all. You'll see what we have planned for tomorrow's live. I don't know what it's going to be yet.
But as you know, it's the same time every time. So
except for Fridays with Discovery, we've had to push an hour ahead because our talks are longer. It's closer to 3 hours than 2, so we've started an hour earlier generally. But keep an eye on the Facebook and YouTube notifications.
Yes. Good enough.
All right. Well, thank you guys. You guys have really come through for us. We really appreciate that. And you've shown your love for The Mandalorian and Star Wars. So thank you. So until next time, I'm Captain Full.
I am Commander Combs. Bye, guys.
See ya.